friends, my name is Tiana here at the Houston Zoo, and we have here one of our ambassador animals, Savannah. So if you guys don't know what an ambassador animal is, they are the animals that go out on grounds, and you can see them doing chats, keeper talks. Sometimes they'll even go to your classroom. So right now we're not doing keeper chats, unfortunately, so we wanted to give you guys kind of the behind the scenes look at some of the animals that you've been missing. So Savannah here is a Harris hawk. She is about 12 years old. They can live to be about 25 years old in the wild. So that's very, very cool. So Savannah here, she's been at the zoo for a few years, and in these few years, our keepers here have worked really hard to work and get a relationship with Savannah. So birds of this type, Harris hawks, are very social birds, so they are really great at being ambassadors. So by social birds, I mean that in the wild, they are one of the only birds of prey that actually hunt in packs, which is really neat. So other owls and other birds, and kind of one of the birds that you're going to see a little bit later, is a solitary bird. But Savannah here, you're okay, honey. Savannah here will, when she's in the wild with other animals, will actually stack on top of each other. So sometimes you can see 3 to 4 to 5 Harris hawks stacked on top of each other, and they do that because the hawk on the top will actually search for prey like small rabbits, mice, lizards, things like that, and they will search for that prey, and the one on the top will fly down, sweep that piece of prey out, grab that meal and catch it, and then they actually will all split it, which is really, really cool because that's not something that other birds of prey do. Hi, honey. So, like I said, Savannah is 12 years old, and if you look at her, she's a pretty big bird. I would say she's about a mid-sized bird. So actually, Savannah only weighs 2 pounds, which is really incredible because she's such. But she weighs light because they actually have hollow. That's what makes them have the ability to take flight. Because if you're chubby, then you can't fly very well. Hi. You're okay. So Savannah is probably looking at stuff out the window. So she is a Texas native. So a lot of the things that you would see, you know, like I said, the lizards, mice, things like that is things that she would be eating in the wild. So you can kind of find her all over the Southwest United States. They're very, very beautiful birds. Some fun things here on because she's using talons to rip and shred her prey. It's very pointy as well to rip and shred that prey. So Savannah here is a female Harris hawk, and in the wild, wondering if it's female, the best way. So like I said, so it's crazy to think that there's male Harris hawks out there that are 1.5 pounds. Unbelievable and very, very cool to me. So like I said, wild Savannah here would be eating lizards, mice, any small little creature that you would find. Here at the zoo, she eats pretty similar things. We try to give them a diet that resembles the wild diet as possible. So she gets a ground up meat. She gets chicks some days. Some days she also gets mice. Those are her absolute favorite, is her mouse day. Trainers, we use that building with her. So that can be something as simple as just going to her enclosure and feeding her, or taking her out on glove and just feeding her, and then you have to build that relationship up. These guys are actually used as falconers birds. They are at forming that social relationship. So Kara, that on your this is a falconer's glove. It's standing here and she's not trying to do those things to me. Her nails are still very, very sharp. So that's how we protect ourselves from her nails. Thanks, Kara. That is a fantastic question. If you guys have any other questions, just keep putting them in the chat and we'll try to answer them as much as we can. So if you guys can hear very, very well, Savannah's doing some light vocalizations. These guys are actually really vocal birds. It's one of the ways that they communicate with each other. So her little vocalization by the so that person's last name was Harris, and so if you guys are just joining us, this is Savannah, our Harris hawk. So Gracie asked, what is her personality like and what is your favorite thing about working with her? So Savannah's really, really fun. She's a really unique personality. She's very, I would say, bold. She knows what she wants. And if she wants something, she is very eager to get it. So my favorite thing about her is sometimes she can be a little bit difficult. And so to work with her, you really have to earn her trust and her love. And when she does trust you, it's very evident that she trusts you and you can just tell that you have a really great relationship. As a keeper, I tend to like the animals that are a little bit more difficult and harder to win over because that means that you're doing a really, really good job. So if you guys have any more questions, keep on putting them in the comments. And this is Savannah here. We will have another bird friend out in just a few, so make sure you stay tuned. So like I was talking about with Savannah, they stack in the wild. So they stack in trees and things like that, but they also live and nest in trees. So one thing we like to talk about here at the Houston Zoo is how important it is to save trees. So I know myself personally, I use recycled toilet paper, and I think that's a really great way to save trees out in the wild. So you're saving animals like Savannah. If you come to the zoo and you see our animals like Bear the Bell, by saving trees, you're help saving those animals. So if you can recycle your paper, use recycled toilet paper, that is the best way to help these animals. So you guys are doing great things. So I am going to wrap up with Savannah here. We're going to move on to our next bird, who is a very special lady and much different than Savannah. So keep on watching and we have another friend for you.
I'm going to say words. All right, say words. Hi, everyone. I'm going to try to get out my lady right now. She can be a little grumpy in the mornings, but I'm sure she will be happy to see us today. Oh, look at those grumpy eyes. All right, my love, let's see if you want to come out for me today. Hi. Can you step up for me? Thank you. Great. Whoa. Someone's a bit wonky. She does this sometimes. It's kind of like she's still not super used to the kennel yet. I'm going to see about getting her out here just one more try, and if not, then we'll move on. We'll see if Savannah wants to come back out and hang out. Alright. And that is a note from Guinevere. Unfortunate. A bit too grumpy today. Let's see if Savannah wants to come out and chat some more. There she is.
We never force them to do anything that they want to do, and that's something that is a really important value to us. So anytime you're out on grounds and you see animals that are out, it's because they made that choice. So that's a very, very big, important thing for us. So I'm very, very sorry you didn't get to see Guinevere. She's having maybe a grumpy day today. We all have them. It's okay. So we're just going to bring Savannah back out for you. So if you guys have any questions about Guinevere, we can answer them. Or if you have questions about Savannah, just throw them in the comments. And we'll just look at this beautiful lady for a couple more minutes. So Savannah is a much larger bird than Guinevere. But in case you missed it earlier, even though she's much larger, Savannah actually only weighs about 2 pounds, which is insanely incredible. Even though she only weighs 2 pounds, after holding her for a couple minutes, your arm muscles still do hurt. I still don't get used to doing that. But she is so light because she has hollow bones, and that's what helps birds give them the ability to fly. So Savannah actually is a lot of puff of those feathers, and if you were to kind of push those feathers down, you would realize that she has actually a very petite body frame. Some other cool features about her, as you can see, is her head. She can kind of swivel that, and that is to help her see prey, and that's to help her hunt. So one cool thing about birds of prey, owl in particular, a lot of people think that they can actually turn their head all the way around. That is actually a myth, because if you turned your head all the way around, your head would fall off, right? So they can actually turn their head about 270 degrees. So if you go from your left shoulder all the way to your right shoulder, that's about how far an owl can actually turn their head, which you can't do that, but they can, and that's actually to help them see. So Lorenzo asks, does Savannah eat fruit? That is a great question. So Savannah does not. She is opportunistic. So that means that the things that she finds on the ground or like running around is what she eats, but fruit is not one of them. So she'll eat any sort of small like lizard, mouse. So she is native here to Texas. So when you guys see like those little anoles, cockroaches, things like that, that's the things that Savannah is actually eating. So she's kind of pest controlled, which is very, very nice. Gracie asks, are Harris hawks social? Great question. They are social. That's what makes them one of the most unique birds of prey. Is that they're social animals. So they actually will hunt and pass. No other birds of prey do that. And by hunt and pass, I mean that they will stack on top of each other, hunt that prey item down, and then they'll actually share that meal amongst each other. Very, very cool. Dana asks, can you remind us what type of bird this is? Yeah, no problem, Dana. Thanks for asking. This is Savannah. She is a Harris hawk. A lot of people get them confused with red-tailed hawks, but they look a little bit different. Where Savannah, if you were to see her flying up in the sky, she has that really beautiful white band on the bottom of her tail. And when she flies, that tail kind of fans out into a fan. And then that's a really good way to ID birds when they're flying around in the sky. And you can't see Savannah here in her native counterparts because she is native to Texas. So I'm sure at one point in time you've seen a Harris hawk, which is really, really cool.
What is Savannah's favorite food?
So Savannah's favorite food, so she eats little bits of kind of mashed up meat. She eats chips, and then her ultimate favorite is mice. Not my favorite, but hers. Hi. So some features about Savannah. She has these very beautiful feet and the nails on them, which we call talons, and that's what she uses to hunt her prey. Gina asks, what kind of enrichment does she get? That is a great question, Gina. Thanks for asking about enrichment. So Savannah loves anything that she can kind of pick apart to find her prey. So all of our enrichment that we give our animals, we try to mimic things that they would encounter in the wild. So Savannah, when she hunts, it's not going to be just you know, you pick up the mouse and you eat it. So we like to make it a little bit difficult to mimic that hunting process that she would have in the wild. So sometimes we'll hang prey items from branches and things like that, or put them in things where she has to manipulate them to get that food piece out. Savannah is extremely intelligent bird. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining in. Thank you for hanging out.